Please remember to tip those Wookiee bartenders 20%. You know the rules. No droids, no bounty hunters, no Raylos, no trolls, no Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy fans of any kind. You're not allowed. You troll, you get bounced. That's the way it is. That's the way I run the ship. Don't like it. Tough shit. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know what the hell happened, but anyway, sometimes it does. So anyway, there's no real news except for more fallout from Data Racer and Quartering's sleuthing today. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about what they found. I had run-ins with this Kate McCall, by the way. In fact, and it's really funny, all the usual suspects are infamous. Yes, I'll call them out. I am not going to be shy about that. You know, the usual blue-haired harpies on Twitter. And this girl named, I think her first name is Michelle, last name Buckman, Buchman, who was the social media person at Lucasfilm. I say was because I think they were looking for a new one not that long ago, this last winter. So, okay, she goes on there, I think it was about a year ago, and asks, do I have any academics who know anything about fandom, blah, blah, blah. And you can, if you go to Quartering's video, you can see all of this, but I want to give you my opinion. And rewriting dipshit, oh, and this person whom I definitely have run-ins with when I was on Twitter, she's a batshit crazy Raylo. They're not in a good, I mean, none of these, it's really funny. We now know what they both look like. And it's too bad they're not normal because they actually are very attractive young ladies and would probably do them a world of good to just find a decent job, get married, have kids, and just live a life. But instead they're into feminism and shit. And they're nuts. I mean, they're nuts. But if you know me, you know how I feel about modern feminism. Third and fourth wave feminism. I don't need it. We don't need it. But this girl, Kate, gets introduced to Buckman, and this article comes out. Like what? Is it 2 weeks ago now? Here's the thing. If you go and look at the tweets that the two girls who have the podcast have put out, and you look at the article, you can't see an intellectual code. I mean, and there is another link on a different social media site. Go to Sci-Fi for You, because Jason was talking about that, where when you see who wrote, when you see Buckman's resume, it fits more of the research end and the writing end than it does Dingbat 1 and Dingbat 2. Okay. Dingbat 1 and Dingbat 2 look to me right now like scapegoats. Let me tell you how this went down. It's been getting lots and lots of boosts on Twitter, like 100,000 retweets and all the rest of this shit. Really? Okay. By a lot of fake accounts. You can tell the sock puppets, they're not following anybody. They don't have a profile pic, an avatar. They only get used when something like this is going on. There are two. There's SJW Crusher, which is a fake account. And then there was another one defending Ripley, and they're both run by the same person. It's really funny. I find it fascinating that these people can go on Twitter and expect no one to realize what they're doing. It's like a complete disconnect of reality. I'm like, you know, but that's really kind of what people are dealing with right now with these people. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, expect more of it. I mean it. Expect more of this. And I told, and Jason didn't agree with me, but Andre and I think Tom do. I told people that they're setting us up to be the fall guys when Kennedy leaves. Okay. They're trying to smear us. And if she gets her gold watch and her, Magic Kingdom parade and all the rest of shit, and then goes off to do her own, whammon movie thing, and maybe she'll have something yet to do with Disney. I don't think so. I would think with some of the projects that the Kennedy Marshall Company have coming up that she should be more busy with that right now. In fact, I've told you guys before, but I'll tell you again. If you know who Michael Franzese is, Michael Franzese is the son of one of the most well-known, not of his choice, mafia bosses. He was the underboss for the Colombo family. Sonny Franzese. Sonny Franzese spent 40 years in prison. Like I said, he was the underboss of the Colombo family. Michael was being actually, I just saw an interview with him where he basically said he was being groomed to be the boss of the Colombo family. And he ended up getting indicted, and he beat Giuliani, but he didn't beat the tax evasion rap. And that's a long story I want to get into. And what's my point? I don't even remember what I was talking about now. It's really, if you hear what guys like that say, if you watch how it really goes down, you can see where this is going. Michael Franzese wrote a book called Blood Covenant, and it's about his life as probably the biggest earner in the Colombo family. He earned millions, and I am not kidding. When you hear him tell the story, it's like, holy shit, and most of it was a gas scam and all the rest of the stuff, and basically stealing tax money from the U.S. government for gas. A very elaborate scheme, and it's very interesting to me. These guys are very interesting. But he wrote this book. Frank Marshall and the Kennedy Marshall Company optioned it. They're developing a TV show for streaming. And, who knows who's going to play him? I hope it's not some freaking, beta male twat. Because Michael is a pretty cool guy. He's not intimidating, but, he's one of those guys where, if you had him in his heyday and John Gotti, Sammy the Bull, and a couple other of those guys, Sammy would probably be the one you'd be afraid of. Okay. Paul Vario would be one you'd be afraid of. Franzese, he was basically, I'm going to say he's a corrupt businessman. But like I said, he was headed towards running that family. And yeah, he's got this thing out. So they've got this out there. I would think that, she should come back and maybe help work on that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I think this is, and this is, the more will be known. Let the story unfold as it will. This wasn't going to last the first scrutiny. I mean, the moment the guys started peeling back the onion and finding the layers, when you see Pablo following these bitches and you see Matt Martin retweeting it and stuff, it's obviously an inside job from the story group, because they know the shit. They know the end is coming, and they're blaming us. Okay. And they're trying to prep the battlefield to blame us, because it may not be ugly, but it ain't going to be pretty. Okay. It's going to be a quiet sort of, bye, as the boys would say, it's going to be a quiet sit down. All right, like in the movie Donnie Brasco when Sonny Red shows up at that house and they're waiting for him. Okay, it's from public perspective and the narrative Disney wants to build. It will be very, oh, Kathy, we're just so sorry you're leaving. And from, but the inside, and we'll find out, we will get stories, and I know there'll be people out there going, that's not true. That's not true. You know, it's really interesting to me, the drama, jealous people, envious people, who really are full of themselves, get themselves, whipped up into a frenzy over somebody else having a big YouTube channel and having contacts and not having a space out there. I find it very fascinating. It's needless drama. All right, you got problems, you got personal issues, you got, you're an envious, full of pride little prick, and you should probably go talk to a priest or talk to your reverend or rabbi or imam or a doctor about that. Maybe go take a walk. You know, it's very interesting to me how a lot of things, and you're going to see a lot of people upset, even in the fandom menace. There's an article, God, I can't remember where it was, talking about Boba Fett and how the biggest fan club is all upset. And, people going, yeah, they didn't like the EU, they decanonized it, huh? It's like, even if Favreau's able to gather everything up, get it in the direction it needs to go, we are going to have people that hate it. And the reason simply is this: they're not going to like anything unless it's what they really want. And the idea that you're not going to, and these people don't have any religious beliefs, they don't have any philosophical beliefs either. Okay? We have, like I said, we have people on our side, vast majority of fans, by the way, but we have people on our side that are just as obnoxious as the SJWs are. And it's something that you kind of go, you need to stop. Really need to stop right now. They won't. They don't want to. It's, you can't. My thing is, look, if people could understand, and this is the thing, that a company needs to make money, okay? A company won't survive if it doesn't make money. Money makes the world go round. Money is the thing that buys you food, buys you clothes, pays your employees, pays your investors. The investors are the ones, at the end of this, they're going to have their say. And it's really funny, Jason at Sci-Fi For You said they did reach out to the Del Vecchio, the guy that wrote that article in Forbes, and he said, I wrote what I wrote, I'm done. And Jason was kind of theorizing out loud that George Lucas actually was the impetus for this article. And you got to remember, George Lucas is a hell of a shit ton of shares in Disney, a shit ton. But I think maybe if he is part of it, but this came from the investors. So if you look at George Lucas as an investor, yes, it did. But I still think, and I think Cameron's right, that this was Chapek. I honestly do. And this is, like I said, you couldn't get Al Capone for the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. You couldn't get him for other murders, but you sure could get him for tax evasion, could you? Think about it. Okay? That's exactly what happened. Okay? That's exactly what they did. And it might not be, and I'm going to tell you this. for the fans. When it happens, if it happens, and again, if, because we don't know, we're speculating and talking, you are going to be blamed for this, no matter what, no matter how soft and sweet, because the people at Lucasfilm that hate us are going to come after us harder, because then the person keeping them employed is gone and they're next. Okay, we are going to get a lot of shit. I don't care. Okay, I really, really, really don't care. And it's beyond time for for it to end. I mean, the stories of Lucasfilm employees attacking fans, attacking people for simply not liking their product, has been going on for almost a decade. Okay, almost a decade. A franchise that should have actually had put $10 billion in the bank, netted, has net about $2 billion. And when I say put $10 billion in the bank, I'm saying net, okay? The sequel trilogy merchandise doesn't sell. The sequel trilogy was basically a bomb. Yes, you can have $1 billion bomb. Hey, John 42. How you doing? And there it is. You know, if you're somebody who doesn't agree with me and wants to give me shit about this, go ahead and do it. Okay? Go ahead and attack my friends and people I associate with, and Midnight's Edge and Clownfish TV and Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers and Jeremy at the Quartering and Echo Base and attack Doomcock and everybody else and attack Cameron. Because you can't handle the fact that you're not one of them. Fine, go do it. But at the end of the day, if you can't understand that these movies were not successful and the financial things are out there to see it, I can't help you. All right, that's on you. You can't make something successful no matter how hard you wish it. It's kind of like I can't push a diamond out of my ass. Sorry for being crass. It's gonna be shit. Okay, that's just what it is. No matter how hard you wish, no matter how hard you try. Okay, you're just not gonna be able to do that. And we have people that are associated with the fandom menace who just can't stand the idea that, oh, holy shit. All right, when I'm done here, I have to tell everybody. Show Collectibles just re-put back the Cara Dune stuff. Now they're either saying, yeah, we're just gonna sell them, we don't give a shit. Ooh. That is something that Tom and the guys need to know. I'll be right back. I gotta get my nose again. Just hold on. Look at my walls. They're cool. That's the best news I've ever heard. I mean, that's like freaking brilliant. I love it. I'm really happy for that, and that's a clue, because if Disney pulled the license or said don't do it, or Lucasfilm, they wouldn't be doing it. So if that's the case, all right. Thanks, Mazarius. I'll look at it. That's stuff we needed to hear. That really makes me happy. This is gonna be, I'm gonna tell you guys, this is gonna be a process. But, and I told Jason in his chat at Sci-Fi for You, and I've told this to Andre, I've said this to Cameron in private, this is going to be over sooner than we ever expected, okay? There's a lot of shit going down. Oh, I want one. God. I wanted a Hasbro Cara Dune figure, you know? It is. And Mazarius, I don't know if they can do that unless they were told to do that. If they were told to do that, and if it was a fuck you, maybe Hasbro will come back. I want a Cara Dune 6-inch figure. All right. I can't afford it. I mean, they're $500. I so want the Han Solo. I can't afford that. I can't. That's just, no, that's, look, if I won the $1 billion lottery, oh, between, ooh, okay, you guys, between November and, when is Kennedy's contract up? I can't afford 65 a month either. I mean, yes, I live in a big house, but we're trying to get this place paid down in 5 years. Okay. I mean, that's the thing. So it's free and clear, it's ours. So, and that's the thing. October 30th. I'm probably wrong here. But I tell you, I have a feeling Kathleen is going. This would not be happening because she's the one that controls the merchandising for Star Wars. And I don't see them doing this. And I didn't see them doing this. I mean, they were the ones that put it out. Take them down, get rid of them. All right. If Hasbro comes back and says, yeah, we'll start producing them again. Hallelujah, holy shit, Merry Christmas. Okay. Now there's a story out there. I think Jeremy from the Quartering, he does some good stuff. Yes, it does. It really, really does. He said he does some, Jeremy Hambley does some really good stuff. There are times when I really disagree with him. He put up a thing about Gina not being allowed to be in the Fast and Furious franchise. Is it because she's been canceled from it? Or is it because she's got something else bigger coming along? Okay. We haven't seen the end of Cara Dune. Okay, we haven't. And this is wow. There's something about the thing about Chapek. I'll read it. Maybe I'll do another video on that if it has anything to do with Lucasfilm. But so yeah, we've got this rewriting Ripley, and it came out the week before the Zack Snyder thing. Yeah, I remember the gun situation. Everybody else? And he really did deserve to be fired. He's a pig. And he's also, from what I remember back then, a candidate for Me Too. I mean, if you go back and look at what some of the, I mean, they have video of him begging one of his actresses for a blowjob or to sleep with him. I was like, and he was like, just so unattractive and skinny and gross and, one of those guys that Sean Connery would walk in and curb stomp just because whatever, one of those guys that John Wayne wouldn't even pee on. Harrison Ford would go, who are you? Clint Eastwood would be like, hey, boy, get me a beer, I'm not kidding. This is, guys, this has been kind of an interesting day. This is good news. I mean, First off, I watched a little bit. I watched Midnight's Edge for a while, and they were talking about the Snyder Cut. And then I watched Sci-Fi for You, and the stuff that Data Racer has been able to dig up. Because I'm gonna tell you this: this Kate chick, she's crazy, and I mean, she's mentally ill. I don't care. She's crazy. Okay. She did a hit piece on him. And the thing about it is, if you're gonna do a hit piece on him, he's gonna come back and stomp you into oblivion, and that's exactly what Data Racer did. And it was beautiful. I mean, the stuff he was able to dig up. These two girls are so stupid. They left their names, I think, either on their own website or the article somewhere. And it's just really, yeah. But when you see pictures of them, it's like, you guys look like cheerleaders. Go find it. Yeah, if you go find a nice guy and get married, just be happy. I mean, I think part of the feminist movement's problems are this: they don't have children. They don't know how to have a relationship with a man. They feel inadequate and insecure, and that's a big problem with the Raylos. They fixate on something that isn't real, and they can't have anyway. Adam Driver. I'd rather date a cockroach, to be honest. God, he's ugly. Oh, Jesus. I mean, that guy, you know what I think. And they get, it's not even Mean Girls. I mean, I look at what Kennedy and Hidalgo did to Gina as Mean Girls. I really, really do. What these girls are doing is, I think, preteen. I mean, I don't think their maturity level is even up to the preteen area. I mean, they're very childlike and very, they need. I think you're looking at girls that needed the guiding hand of a father, or have their mother at least be interested in what they were doing, to be honest. Because when I look at the attitudes, and I'm going to tell you something about Raylos. I said this before, I'll say it again. A lot of them are my age. Okay. I am 52. Okay, so when I say I saw Star Wars in the theater in 1977, I did. I was 9. Okay, you do the math. And it's fascinating to me that even back then, when we were kids, we had the toys, we did all this stuff, we played pretend. But there comes a point when you're like, you get to high school and you're still a fan, but it becomes something you read, you talk about, but you don't go and act it out. That's what kids do. These girls, I bet you $1,000 never played outside, never played imagination games at all. Like, there was a game I played with my friends because we were all horse crazy, called Ranch. And we pretended we had all these horses, and we run around, and we really ran. All right, that's what you did with that game. And then we played Star Wars, and we'd make up our own blasters and lightsabers and stuff. We didn't buy the gear, we made it. And then we eventually got the gear for birthdays and Christmas. And we got the action figures and the vehicles and the ships. But it's unhealthy to deprive a child of their imagination. All right. There are a lot of people I know in my family that would disagree. I mean, I've got 2 nieces that both love to read, to the point of, okay, maybe you should go outside and take a walk now. Okay. They're not of a generation that goes outside and plays. Now, they go outside to, jump rope and stuff. They did when they were younger, but now they're teenagers. But they have a relative who doesn't like the fact that they read sci-fi and fantasy stuff, and I'm like, you can't keep an imagination from a kid. Well, it's not realistic. It's like, it's unhealthy to do that to a child. How do they learn about life? How do you learn about life? By interacting with other children, playing games of pretend. You know, play is kind of representative of what you do as a grown up. You had little kitchens that we used to have, and easy bake ovens, those things. You know, Johnny West figures, and I had a lot of them. I had Custer, and I had Black Bart and Jane and Jane's niece and all the horses, and Johnny West and Geronimo and Sitting Bull and all kinds. All right, and I loved it. God, those were great toys. I mean, we really had some cool shit back then, back in the 70s. And those toys sort of give you an idea of what life is like out there on the frontier. Because back in the 70s, till about 76, 70, whatever, there were westerns on TV. Kung Fu, Gunsmoke was still going. There were reruns of The Big Valley. And it was just a way to, those toys were something that kids wanted to play with. You got to be a cowboy. You got to be whatever, you know what I'm saying? And same thing with G.I. Joes. The first G.I. Joes really did kind of represent G.I. Joe, like the American soldiers and Marines. And when the action figures came out for the cartoons, I mean, my nephew had all of them. He and his friends would go out and play G.I. Joe. And it was great. And it's just a way for kids to express themselves doing grown up things. Things they think grown ups do. Okay. Barbies. That's what little girls wanted, because little girls wanted to grow up to be beautiful and have long legs and beautiful hair and date really good looking guys, have I mean, that Barbie is like almost like the extension of the the preteen girl's vision of herself at the age of 22. Okay. At the age of 22, I was sitting in a history class going, because I probably knew more than the professor did. But now these girls, and I'm talking about the two from Rewriting Ripley, their imagination is so distorted and stunted, they don't have one anymore. They really don't have one. And I feel bad for them. I feel sorry for them. I don't really know how to explain why. Hey, Dave. It's sad that they can't, that they never had a childhood, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. You see people like this, they didn't have a very good childhood. All right, they're doing their play now, and they're grown adults. All right, you know, and it's fine. I don't do Lego anything. Even as a kid, I was like, you know, um, and these girls, they get mad at us. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. If you ever watch, there's a really great, a couple of videos about the history of Halloween, and it has ended up being that grown-ups like to play pretend too. We like to get dressed up and ghost outfits and maids and angels and vampires and you know I remember seeing a guy when we lived in Virginia. This is gonna make you laugh your head off. His kids were all dressed like characters from The Force Awakens. He's walking down the street dressed like Han Solo in Carbonite. He's got this big cardboard flat thing. He's got his hands through, and you can see his face, and it's all and like part of his chest, and is all silver. And I gave him a shorty bottle of wine. I was like, you need this. That's the greatest costume I've ever seen in my life. But it's fun for grown-ups to do that. But because I think it harkens back to the days when the skies were the limit. The limit was to where your imagination would take you. Okay. And it's good for people to do that. When I see people cosplaying at Celebration, I think it's great. I do. I think it's great. I think it's really neat. I see people cosplaying at the Reading Air Show, the World War II fly-in. Women with their hair all dolled up and the red lipstick and the 1940s costumes, which are, if they had it in the fall, I would dress up. But wearing clothes like that in June here is ridiculous. I can't do the heat. It's like, oh God, I'm dying. It's just this is you know, but these girls can't have fun with it because they didn't have fun with it when they were children. Play for kids is, again, a socialization. All right, the biggest thing. B, it exercises their little brains. C, it lets them understand that they can be anything they want when they're in their pretend world, and it teaches them things. All right, to go out and play, ranch, or Star Wars, or GI Joe, or Cowboys and Indians, or my friends and I would also pretend like we had the horses in the Kentucky Derby, and we'd all be running around uh, the playground trying to race each other, and it was really funny. I mean, but we would do that because this is what, I mean, it was something we loved and we wanted to be part of it. And how are you part of it if you're not there? You, as a child, pretend you're part of it. Okay, so when grown-ups do it, it's fun, it's giddy, it's a way for them to express themselves, but they know it's not real. Okay, you see a guy at Star Wars Celebration and he's dressed like Luke Skywalker. He's not Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill isn't Luke Skywalker, and he proves that a lot every day on Twitter. All right, he couldn't carry Luke's jockstrap, to be honest. You know, it's really interesting. I think Harrison Ford is more like Han Solo than he'd ever let on. Carrie Fisher, I think her whole life is defined in Leia, but they're actors and they put it away. Okay. It's very interesting to me, these two girls, because they can't cope with someone saying that's gross. I mean, you guys have heard me say this. If you're a new subscriber, you haven't heard me say this, but I would get into the weeds deep with the Raylos because I look at that whole thing as basically destroying the foundations of romance in Star Wars. It is icky, it is violent, it is toxic, it's misogynistic, it's a storyline that doesn't fit, but you can't convince them. They make up rationalizations about why Kyle Ron is not a bad person, so they can rationalize their lust. It's pathetic. They reduce Ray to a sperm receptacle for him. Their artwork is obscene. It's obscene. And I gotta tell you, they're as much of a product of not having a childhood that gave them a chance to have a childhood. They're also a product. I mean, there are women my age that are Raylos. It's like, what the fuck happened to you? What the fuck happened to you? Grow up. They're also a product of the Twilight shit and 50 Shades of Mommy porn. Think about it. If you look at their art, and I have screenshots of it. Oh my God. I love the depictions of bondage are enough to make you want to vomit. Okay. If you look at their art, it is literally obscene to the point where it should be banned. And when they got kicked off of Tumblr, they raced over to Twitter, and then it was there. And then if you tried to get Twitter to take it down, you would be the one in trouble. All right. You know, Twitter talks about being a safe space for people, but it's not a safe space for decency, for respect for humanity, for the human body, and children. All right. It's just not. And these girls, they're so serious about this. It's like it really is real to them. It's real to I mean, and when you tell them, you do realize that this hurts the rest of the other movies by you forcing this down people's throats. You're literally shitting on other people by forcing this Raylo junk. They don't care. They don't care. It's theirs now. And they can, rip apart the original trilogy, all the characters. They can trash the prequels. They don't care because this isn't about good writing. All right? There's activism involved. And these two morons are obviously SJWs. And that this Michelle Buchanan or Buckman is very much an SJW. And I think, and I'm going to say this right now, I think Jason and I think Quartering is right. I think she wrote the article. And if she wrote the article while working at Lucasfilm, oh boy, and we will find out that. We will discover that. We will find out. But they think they can destroy it, all of it, for their own thing because they don't have any concept of story, of romance, of continuity, of what love, eros, in that term, really is. Their idea of romance is Ray in bondage, naked, tied up, on a chair, bound down with their legs spread. That's to them, and I'm like, that's not romance. That's pornography. And that's not even pornography. That's hardcore porn. Now, maybe you like that stuff, but it doesn't belong in Star Wars. Star Wars is literally modern mythology. It is a story that needs to be preserved the way Lucas wanted it to be passed down to generations. It is not female-centric. The fact that it wasn't aimed at boys. Boys liked it more than girls. It was aimed for everybody. And George has always made sure that he said that. Okay? The idea that you could walk in and shit on everything he built because you need to make it for you, that's the problem. The problem we have with girls like rewriting Ripley, these two, is that they personified Ray. They gave Kyle Ron a backstory that he doesn't deserve. He does not deserve rationalization. Okay? They're just evil people out there. Okay? It's really weird to me, but when you look at people like this, I've said this before, and I said this yesterday, I think, or the day before. If you go back and look at it, the way they behave, they're like the girls that used to follow Ted Bundy around and Charles Manson, only they're doing it for a fictional character. I mean, I gotta say this: when you look at what they've done to Daisy, they doxed her. They want her to dump her fiance so she could be with Adam. They wanted. I mean, I've seen death threats to Adam's child, and his wife. I mean, and Disney. Kathleen Kennedy just encouraged it. The whole kiss thing at the end of that dumpster fire, Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine. That was a reshoot. They didn't want to do that. I mean, JJ didn't want to do that. He was forced to. All right, because Kathleen Kennedy is a Ray-Blow. I mean, she's trying to capitalize on an audience that's only about that big. I mean, the best thing about that kiss is he croaked. He just croaks. It's like, I'm like, good, good, good. It's just really, it's fascinating that it ended up that these two girls are probably the scapegoats and probably the ones that are they're being set up. And if they find out who actually really wrote that, because I gotta tell you something, neither of these two have the strength to stand up under questioning. All right, none of them. And that's truth. That is the absolute truth. Okay, I know what I'm talking about here. All right, they don't, and it's going to be very interesting when this all comes out, because we're going to find out who wrote that article, and it's not them. I don't think they're smart enough to do it. I don't think they're capable to do it. They're not emotionally stable enough to do it. All right. They are SJWs, after all. So anyway, all right, I gotta go. I'm gonna go. Maze, if you can find that article, send it to me in private. I have to go. I'm gonna go see my horse, and then I'm gonna do an intense 37-minute kettlebell workout. It's I'm really trying to get myself back into decent shape. I haven't been in a while. Oh God, now there's 20 people here. No, I can't leave. But I found a really good bunch of workout videos by this. She's Irish. Look, kick your ass. I mean, she'd kick your ass, big time. Little tiny Irish girl built like a brick shithouse. I need to get into better shape, and that's just my thing. I mean, I'm trying. So anyway, I will see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be good. Anything else happens today, I'll be back. Talk to y'all later. And to the trolls and haters, fuck you.